That was enough to get the hair on my arms to stand up. It was like a quick, heavy thud, 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 thud. And like maybe 4. Very quick, fast moving thud, 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 thud. And then it stopped when we got up to turn around. You got anything on thermal, Gwen?
Nope, not a thing. Not a thing. What were you hearing?
It sounded like really heavy footfalls quick behind us. Really heavy thud, 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 rustling. And then it stopped when Aaron and I got up. And then faintly off to my right up here, almost like a faint kind of, almost like that kind of coyote soundish we heard earlier.
Yeah, some kind of a howl.
Right.
Bark. Something in that range, you know.
It was enough to get the hair on my arms to stand up for a minute.
Oh,
like
wow.
it just startled me for a moment. I don't know if you heard it.
I heard one of the like crunches.
Did it sound bipedal?
Yeah, thump, 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 like something's running really quickly. And then as we got up, it stopped because I could hear like rustling, like something was stepping through something.
Mm-hmm.
That was heavy.
Was too big.
That was heavy.
Let's go back to our spot.
Okay, so in case that didn't pick up on the mic, there was, what would you even describe that
See,
as?
we were the bait.
It was something heavy that fell.
Behind the cabin?
And it sounded like it hit metal.
So what did we hear? Why did we run back over here?
There was a loud crash, like a heavy tree snap. Now they're talking about our potential to be surrounded. I think, if I'm listening to them.
Well, it's entirely feasible. If there were something to do the surrounding, the environment is conducive.
Hello? My thing is, if this is a domesticated dog, when I was making those noises over here, and why didn't it respond to us then?
Yeah, I actually expected, as we were banging on trees, and
right,
I forgot my red light. This got very exciting very quickly, so I kind of just ran off without it. I'm losing focus again.
Aaron, we are going to need your light to get out of here.
Yeah, let's do it. Ow. Wait till we're out of here.
Wait, look at this. Is that us?
It really gets down there.
I'm right here. You seeing something?
Straight.
Oh. Yup.
Is that eye shine, or am I just tired?
No, that's shiny.
Oh my God.
Keep it there. Don't move.
Is it in frame?
It just dropped and stood up. I still see it. What?
Oh, I see it. It's on the ground.
It dropped and got up?
Yep.
Hey. Hello? Hey! Come to us.
Sorry if we're intruding. Want to say hello?
Wow, that's intense.
You see it?
Yeah, right here, Gwen.
Thank you for not scaring us.
It's about where Aaron is, although I see eye shine off to the right.
Hope we haven't scared you.
Nobody's here. Is it up or down?
It's right there.
Again?
You see him again?
It just, oh my God. It just dropped and stood up. I still see it.
So I would really like to know more about how you guys got started doing this stuff together.
Well, there's the real story and there's the story we tell everybody.
Yes.
We met on Match.com. No, so actually, we met at a Pennsylvania Bigfoot Society. It was like a group
camp
camping,
out.
like
Yeah, group
an
camp
annual
out.
meeting. Everybody would get together when we'd go to these places. Matt and I got it was a sighting report.
Yes.
That came to me, and I'm like, you know, Matt is super close to this location. Let me get a hold of him and see if he's, one, still involved in the research, and two, maybe I can get him out there pretty quickly. So I called Matt, sent him the information. He went out there really fast. You know, it was a strange report that didn't come across so strangely. But yeah, I think through some of these really strange reports and some of these really just cool outings that we've had, we've kind of built like a brothership and a camaraderie.
Absolutely.
What kind of experiences have you had together?
When we had that town hall
Yep.
meeting, we had some folks come up and share their information with us. Matt and I were we're really needing some information about where to start deploying next. And you know, by the grace of whatever higher power there is, he sent this guy to us before our town hall. The guy didn't even stay for the town hall meeting. He goes, "Hey, I got some information for you guys. You seem like credible people. I want to share this with you." So that night, Matt and I went out with the information this guy gave us. And now keep in mind, he had been out there months before, and he's an elderly guy. He wasn't going to be going out in this area by himself anytime soon. We go out there, we just got out of the truck and we start walking around, and Matt goes, "Hey, Sean, come take a look at this."
Yeah.
And I go over and I look at it without him even needing to point it out to me. It's like, that's an effing footprint. You know, and what makes that remarkable is we don't get them a lot up here. I mean, you've been up here enough now to see what the ground's like. The soil quality is very rocky.
Spots where I can see something just leaving.
No, that was a 1 in a billion chance encounter.
Right, because of the ground,
Yeah.
how it was laid out was a muddy patch over some rock and then right into the grass. But how this thing moved, you could clearly see it was a footprint and then a step into the grass. Like, it stepped in the only spot possible that it could leave a print.
If you talk to any experienced hikers, especially ones on the Appalachian Trail, Pennsylvania is commonly known as Rocksylvania. So, because that's all it is rocks. A lot of that soil is usually down the valleys or elsewhere, and then you just get, you know, whatever detritus material that eventually leads into soil at a later time, but we just have a whole lot of rocks here. Yeah, so I'm an active police officer. I've been with my department for over 20 years, and I've also been trained as a crime scene technician. So I'm very skilled in evidence collection, doing prints, using the latest technology.
How many years have you been doing this together?
Probably over a decade.
Yeah.
Firmly over a decade. Individually longer. You know, I've got about 30 years or more I've been involved in it personally, and then what you've been involved in. So, I mean, we have a long tenure of being involved with the research and a long tenure of boots on the ground, and I know that's important to people. But the one thing I would tell people that watch this or listen, however, is don't minimize the contributions of the folks collecting data or the armchair researchers, because they're a lot more important to this than you may realize in the moment.
Just based on the time that you guys have been out here, do you think we're making progress in the Pennsylvania wilds? Because we've talked about how this is an examined area. Do you feel we're pushing the needle a little bit?
I do. And it might be baby steps, but those baby steps will add up eventually. You know, that becomes miles. And so every time we come out and we talk to somebody different, or somebody comes up to us and says, "Hey, you know, by the way, this happened," that's a win for us. Because we're in an area where nobody wants to talk about this. And we can crack that a little bit and start getting more people to come out. That person might tell someone else that says, "Hey, you know, I talked to these guys, they're legit. You know, they really did take me seriously. They cared about, you know, what we said. And, you know, they acted on it."
As for reports that really stick with me, one report, and this is the report that kind of set the fire. with me was I was in 7th grade, I believe, and this is in the 1980s. And my mom had just taken a job. She was a stay-at-home mom. My dad was in the military, and she had just took a job at an industrial park in central Bucks County, which is a relatively, back then it wasn't very populated, it was more farmland. Now it's almost part of the Philly Metroplex, but back in those days it was farmland and woods and sporadic parks and industrial parks, factories. So she worked there, and she got called into work one night. She's taking the back road, and we expected that she was going to be at work. She came home about 20 minutes later, white as a ghost, and told my dad, "I just saw a monster." And the way she described it was very tall, very stringy hair. And my mom grew up in the hollows of Pennsylvania coal country. She said it looked like a hippie. And
A dirty hippie.
A dirty
She's
hippie.
a dirty hippie. It's okay.
Yes.
Sorry, dirty
And-
hippies.
Absolutely. But she also added too, it smelled. And this was your typical road crossing. It came out from the woods, crossed the road in about 3 to 4 steps, and went over to an area which there was a pond at the farm, and it went into the reeds, and she lost it. Of course, she got scared. She turned around, came back to get my dad. I wanted to go, but they wouldn't let me. But he went up there and checked it out, and she still talks about it to this day, about what happened. That was really what kind of, really started the interest for me. But probably one of the most relevant reports just came recently, and it really solidifies what we had been talking about earlier in terms of data and analyzing areas. Is the area that we got the footprint from, and where we also had the recorder. We got a report. The person wishes to remain anonymous. The person also did not want it to be published per se on our website, and we respect that. But within a 5-mile circumference of where we got that print, he had a Class A sighting this past spring, where he was out there for trout fishing at one of the local camps. They were outside having a campfire right at dusk, and he saw this bipedal creature about 8 feet tall come out from the woods. It chased a rabbit, came up, scooped up the rabbit, and went back up the embankment, up the mountain. He said the way that it traveled up the mountain was like we would be walking on flat ground. He said no effort at all. And you saw some of those embankments yesterday. They're very steep. So for something like that, and I know who the person is, he's a very honest person. And again, that's why he wants to not be identified. But a story like that really kind of solidified our research in that area. And again, that's why we've been really, spending a lot of time and a lot of energy out in that particular area, because again, this is something that was recent, and we're going to try everything we can, from hair traps to the audio recorders to game cameras to try to find some sort of evidence or clues about this.
I guess one of the things to touch off of there is he had his sighting in the spring.
Yep.
We had our footprint find in the fall.
In the fall, correct.
So again, we go back to that spring fall kind of cycle.
Yep.
Where these sightings happen. I would love to get more sighting reports in the winter.
Yep.
You're not going to get a lot of people up there in the winter, because
Yep.
I'll tell you, it's very bitter. Up on the mountain, the wind blows, it gets cold, you get cold up there
It's
quick.
icy. Yep.
We like it, but it's
Yeah.
not everybody's cup of tea. And in the summer, it's just really hot, and it's very humid
Yep.
up there. Even though it's up on the mountain, it gets really gross.
And rattlesnakes like it.
And rattlesnakes just love it
Yeah.
up there. And we're just thrilled with our rattly friends. But
Yep.
that's pretty much, I guess, it's pretty, when it comes
Yeah.
to mentors and standout cases.
Yeah.
I mean, with those standout cases, we could go for days, probably.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
You know, again, part of what we do is also just keeping the memory of people that came before us around. Like, they deserve the homage and respect that they've earned, and it's important. Everybody that's been involved with this deserves their story told in some way, shape, or form. And we try to keep that going in a way.
Here we were yesterday. This is the bottom of the George Stevenson Reservoir in Cinemahoning State Park. So this is the state park that we were talking about. And the state park actually does go out into the mountain here, but it's technically part of Elk State Forest. Right at the border here at Potter County, it goes into Sasquatch State Forest. So they're essentially managed the same. It's just that they have two regional districts.
All right, Matt. So it's our second full day here.
Yep.
We have a lot of gear. You've brought a lot of gear. So maybe tell me a little bit about what we're taking out in the field later. Because we're still going to get back out there. So.
Absolutely. What I'll do is I'm going to go through some of the things that I feel are important for doing any sort of investigations out here. So one thing that I've been using a lot recently is the chest pack. And this is designed primarily for hunters for putting binoculars and other gear in. But with me, I can open it up. Now with this one here, I just have some generic stuff. First aid kit, most important thing to have with you, because you don't want to be out there without one if there's an emergency. I have my lights in here. Generally, I'll have a lighter, some fire starters in here just in case I do have to, spend the night out in the woods. Then I'll have some electronics in here as well. This is what I call my nice, easy day pack. This is, I believe, the Everly Stock Bandit. And with this one here, I can actually set up, I don't have it set up right now for it, but I can set up in all three of these bags, the water pouches. So I can have water when I need it, which is very important. This is more my extended day pack. Again, this is an Everly stock bag. And this is what they call the Switchblade. It's more or less like an everyday carry pack. But again, I use this quite a bit. Now in here I have my computer stuff.
We'll be back out in the field today, so I'm sure we'll get a chance to put some of this to use at least.
With an expedition they did, I drove this so many freaking times because, for one thing,
I wanted the sound to sound good. We're hugging.
Hello.
That's the last time I hugged you, like prison, just like that. Good. Feeling up.
So we're located adjacent to the Kinzua Dam in the Allegheny National Forest. We're on an area that's near a location named Jake's Rock, which is commonly known, especially amongst mountain bikers that come in this area. But for campers, people that have been in this area, they've had some experiences at this particular location and nearby. So we have a great group of people here.
Well, we started Bigfoot researching about 18 years ago when my husband, he was coming home from work and had a sighting. And after that, about a week later, he had another sighting. So we contacted a well-known Bigfoot researcher, Paul Bognan, who is here tonight, and it all went and started from there.
Jeff Anderson. I started, like my wife said, 18 years ago on my way home from work and seen a sighting. And then a week after that, seen another one. And then it just opened up from there. We've been doing it, 18 years, and we were at one point 6-7 days a week we were out here. Had a lot of experiences.
To the left of you is Paul Bogdan. Excellent researcher. He's a friend of mine, a mentor of mine.
I've been researching cryptids for approximately 30 years or so, specifically heavily on the Bigfoot side of things. I came to the Allegheny area in 2008 on the heels of the Jacobs Creature photo that was taken in this area. And at the time, I had just become actually a member of the BFRO, that was in 2007. So a fellow researcher and myself, Paul Matea, Paul Matea was assigned the case, and I came with Paul, and we began researching this area, and we've been heavily involved in a lot of activity in this area since then. Certainly in meeting Jeff, which he been a great asset. Jeff has been a phenomenal in terms of knowing the area, having access to certain areas, and he's helped us out a lot in our research, and Jeff and I have gotten close through the years and formed a very good team, I think, and I've had a plethora of experiences, certainly, and occurrences through the years that are fascinating, for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The reason why we chose this place is because this is where Jeff and Julie have had a lot of activity over the last probably 12, 13 years. Well, as long as I've known you, but longer than that, right? They brought me out here several times, but if there's anybody that knows the ANF, it's them. I think we could literally get in a vehicle and Jeff could drive us around here, or Julie blindfolded. They know it that well. This is Paul and I's first time meeting, so it's nice to meet you, Paul. But again, with the amount of experience we have here, and the varying different levels of encounters, but also the different backgrounds and everything we have a really good group that I think is very able to take this area on as a challenge and really throw ideas at each other, come up with different experiments or different things to do, and that's why we're here, to kind of pick your brains and to give Aaron a little, just a little sample of why this area is so important to you and why this whole region's become very important to Matt and I.
So, Paul, can you tell us more about what types of techniques you guys employ in your research? Because I think, depending what kind of media you consume or what your adjacency to this stuff is, I think people have different ideas about what constitutes Bigfoot research, but I was hoping you could give me some more details on what you guys actually do.
Sure. Well, Bigfoot research, in my opinion, starts at the campfire. It sounds very simplistic. By making yourself accessible for them, sort of piquing their curiosity and giving them a reason to be interested in you. It extends beyond that, certainly, to various vocalizations and wood knocks and different things we use. But we, at least from my standpoint, I've always tried to do it in as least intrusive a manner as possible by respecting them as certainly a thinking creature, giving them sort of the honor of understanding that this is their realm and I'm here as a visitor, to create sort of points of interaction for them that they do not feel threatened. I do not believe in provoking. I never have provoked. I think that's a bad way to research, and I think it's not a way to, in essence, respect what you're researching. So that's really the nutshell of it, if you will.
There's been more activity from us just sitting around the campfire as opposed to us going out doing wood knocks or doing calls. Most of the stuff that we get, again, we'll analyze the data to see where there's a hot spot, and the Allegheny National Forest is a hot spot. It's basically an untouched gem here in Pennsylvania, and just by going out here and having that fire, and it may not be at dusk, it may not be at 10 o'clock at night, but maybe about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, maybe something's going to come up and see what's going on.
Well, you're in their backyard.
Absolutely.
You're a visitor.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Yep.
Let them feel comfortable with you and see what happens from there.
I'm curious if there's a particular type of activity you guys encounter more often, because we hear, knocks, howls, footfalls, the different things that we kind of associate with potential Bigfoot activity. Is there a preponderance of one or more?
And that certainly, depending on the region you're in, is going to vary. Here it's a pretty good mix between wood knocks and vocalizations. I mean, there are some areas that I'm familiar with other researchers that have told me that they don't receive any wood knocks at all. In other areas, that's all they do is wood knock. But here it's a pretty good mix you have, pretty good balance of it.
And this specific spot we're in right now, is this a regular research site for you guys, or?
Yeah, we've come here quite a few times. We've had quite a few experiences just in this spot, but we've done it, oh boy, all over the National Forest up in this area. We've done a lot.
Could you tell us about some of the experiences you've had here?
Just in this spot?
Yeah, since we're here.
In this area.
Well, in this area alone, we had a hauler right up at the end of the road there, and I was actually standing up there, and it made me run back because it was right there. I don't think my feet ever touched the road. And down the road, Paul and I found a tree that was stripped of the bark and made like a bed, and there was hair on it and everything. We found that, and we've had haulers down here, knocks, a little bit of everything. It's been a mixture down this way.
When you guys found that tree with the bark, I'm in an area where there are not bears, so, forgive me, but I know bears will mess with tree bark. Was it pretty clear this was not?
Yeah, because it was pulled down in one piece. And then
it was laid out perfectly.
Yeah, like a bed. And then when we got down and looked at it, you could see hair that was on it. But unprepared, we didn't have anything to take it off without ruining the sample, so.
Well, I probably say most of our activity through the years we've been here has happened in the fall, possibly due to deer migrations. There could be different reasons for that, but I'd say pretty clearly, and I think Jeff would second that's something that I've noticed is that not so much in the spring, a little bit in the summer, but fall and even into early winter, I think we've noticed the most concentrated activity.
First question, can you tell us about your experience that kind of started this entire Bigfoot thing for you?
Yeah, it was 18 years ago, probably. On my way home from work one day, driving down the local road here and almost home. Nobody was really paying attention, tired from working. There was 3 of us in the truck, and the driver and I looked down the road a quarter mile in front of us, and we seen something run down the hill, across the road, and it hurdled the guardrails. And we both looked at each other like, did you see that? Him and I both said, yeah, we seen it. And the guy in the back, he just didn't want nothing to do with it. He didn't want to even say he seen anything. About a week later, right around the same area, we had the same thing happen again. And same story, him and I both were all on that, and the third guy didn't want to even see it. And after that, we were hooked. We were going out all the time and doing whatever we can. Back then, we wouldn't get out of the car. If we'd roll the window down a crack, do a hauler, and roll it right back up. But
we graduated.
Yeah, we graduated, gotten a little better.
That's understandable. When it came to the creature going across the road, could you make out any details like color, estimate of height, anything like that?
It was dark, and it was just a dark figure. That's all you could see. And it did the road in 5 or 6 steps. And I don't think there's really any person that could do that in that amount of time, plus running down the hill that was that steep without even losing its balance.
How close was that to where we are right now?
Oh, it was in the same area. I mean, it's not
30 minutes.
Yeah, probably 25, 30 minutes from here. But it's in the same neck of the woods.
Other experiences that you've had in this area, it doesn't have to be this campsite, but in this forest.
Oh boy.
We did this all the time, and we had a group of us. There was quite a few of us in a group, 8 to 10, family and friends, and we just came out and we started getting activity. So our friends got it, and family got addicted to it too. But we were out one night, and we were right in the same area, maybe 5 miles away. And we did our fire, and then it was probably 1, 2 in the morning, and we all packed up and we left. We were the last truck. We were the last. Everybody else was in front of us. And we're coming down the dirt road, and there's a lot of campsites on that road, like in the wilderness campsites. But I just caught a glimpse of something by a tree, up against this tree, and it was kind of like hiding its face. And I screamed, I'm like, stop, and he backed up. I told him, back up, back up. There was nothing there. So he got out. We had some caution tape in the truck, and he said, I'm going to mark that tree, because it looked like it was really small. I said, it looked like a dwarf, I kept telling him. And it did look really small. So he got out to mark that tree, and he put the caution tape around the tree. And just as he was doing that, it whooped. It made a noise. It's like a whoop. I don't know if you've heard of that. I didn't think he was going to touch the ground. He was back in that truck so fast. And you could hear something running after it made that whoop. So it was there. We're not sure exactly what it was. But the next day we went back to measure it for height. So he got up to measure the height where I was sat in the truck, and it wasn't a dwarf. It was probably taller than him, maybe by a foot. So.
And did you notice my backup said she was sitting in the truck?
Yeah, I wasn't going to get out.
Yeah.
You've had a few experiences in this area.
I have.
I was wondering if you could maybe talk us through some of what you've seen.
Certainly. Again, just for a little bit more background, I think it was in 2007, late 2007, an individual by the last name of Jacobs, he had a game camera that was very close to here that he was had out for to basically track deer movements prior to the hunting season. And at that point, there was a photo taken of something which at the time, certainly I would describe as something other than a bear. It was being described as a bear with mange, all these sorts of things, which to me really didn't make sense because the physiology on it looked a little bit off. So at the time, I was just really signed on with the BFRO. And so we had sent it to some people that looked at it, some wildlife biologists and some people who had a background in bear anatomy. And they said, certainly something did not seem right with it. No. That it looked like it could be something other than what it was being interpreted as by sort of the mainstream of people within the biology field. And it was at that point, sort of we started setting up shop in that general area. We started researching it pretty heavily. There were expeditions for years after that. Every year we would seem to have an expedition with people and different people from the public, so to speak, that would be able to sign up for it and join us on what we were doing there. And so through those years, we had some amazing experiences there. We saw a lot of sightings, thermal sightings, certainly. We had some Class A sightings, which are visual sightings that we had. Lots of Class B, which we would refer to as the audible evidence that we would collect. Certainly tracks we found, and this is all stuff that really was collected over years in that area. It was a very fascinating, it's been a fascinating time there. And it really kind of continues to be. I will be honest with you that in some ways I think their movements here have shifted a bit. So yes, in fact, the area right now we believe holds a more higher active area than what we were experiencing over where the photo was actually taken. So we kind of shifted our sort of our focus over here.
Is there a historical precedent here, or are most of these sightings and activities fairly recent?
Oh no, yeah. Basically, if you go back to certainly through Native American lore, through here, it's no different than a lot of other areas of the country. There's a rich history of it, and I don't know if it was quite as fully tapped as it was when we started coming here. There were some other Bigfoot-related groups that were investigating it. I think we kind of gave it a bit of a name in terms of how much focus we put on it and how much effort we put into it. And so I think that because of that, it sort of exploded. And we, again, we've had a lot of success here, and we've noticed that there's been a lot of interest by other groups, for example, other paranormal research groups, and certainly other cryptid research groups that have been here. And it's really just the tip of the iceberg. We've had a lot of experiences with aerial phenomena while we've been here. Certainly something in the classic realm of ghost hunting, if you will. We've experienced everything under the sun here.
So this is a
Highly energy.
crossover area. Or
Absolutely.
whatever you like to call it.
High energy. A lot of energy in this area. And so we've been, it's a sort of Pandora's box when you come here. You don't quite always know what you're going to end up with, but there's a good chance it's going to be something rewarding in your time here. Yeah.
I know you mentioned you've had several experiences kind of in this area. Is there one that really kind of sticks out to you or one or two, depending on what you care to share?
Well, certainly I've been up close and personal. Now, I have had what I believe is a daytime sighting, although that was not at close range. I've actually had them very close to me, to the point where I've heard them. And, I've heard the growls. I had a particular incident, which if you allow me to go back to, this is several years back. We were on an expedition, and I didn't see what was in front of me because, if you understand, it was in the dead of night, pitch dark. And so I knew something was in front of me, but I really couldn't see it. And so there happened to be an attendee who was with me, and she happened to be looking up the hill, and in the moonlight, she saw something standing no more than 10 feet in front of me. And I had no idea it was there. And I was talking to it like I am talking to you now. This is just open communication. We're trying to put it at ease, trying to, sort of elicit hopefully some sort of response from it, but not certainly to intimidate it. And it was at that time, that this thing actually crouched down and went down on all fours. And it was at that point, she says, that she actually called to me because she was more worried that it was gonna possibly charge me, whether it be a bluff or an actual, physical engagement with me. But suffice to say that when she called out, it actually turned and it scurried away.
And how long ago was this?
This is approximately about 10 years ago, actually. Yeah, so it's been a bit.
What was your reaction at that time?
I was stunned. I didn't know that it was something that close to me, because you would interpret, even in the nighttime, you would think that something 10 feet away, you would have some acuity that you'd be able to certainly feel that it's there, or if not visually see it, you could kind of hear it as it rummages in the underbrush. But I didn't even know it was there. So the idea of not knowing something's there can be, and sometimes a shocking element to your encounter.
Is that an experience that you would repeat if given the choice?
Absolutely. I don't have any fear or interpretation with regards to these creatures. I've been doing this for long enough to know that if they wanted to harm me, or certainly harm anyone I'm with, it would have happened. It's a reclusive animal. It's certainly something that I think there's a curiosity built in them, that they're very interested in us, and maybe even at times that they wish to engage us on their terms. But in terms of actually fearing for my safety or anyone else's, I've never had that, to be quite truthful on that. I think it's, it's been an amicable relationship that I've had with them, always on their grounds, whether they wish to interact with me or not. But I have no worry with regards to my interactions with them.
So we're heading away from camp now. I'd really like to see maybe in practice some of the research techniques that you guys employ. Because you see this stuff on TV and documentaries, but it's very rare that you get the opportunity to witness it in person, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Steal any trade secrets?
No, I'm good with that. We basically just we'll walk away towards the area where we hear something. We'll listen and just see what you want to do to investigate it further. A lot of times I'll do a hauler, nice loud hauler, see if it'll echo through the area or not, or we'll sometimes do a wood knock. And Paul's got his own, I don't know how he does it, but he has a sense of what you should do, and he'll be the first one to tell you if you're doing something wrong. He'll be like, yeah, I don't do that no more. I wouldn't do that.
That was kind of is there a routine? Is there a system? Or is it more of a, kind of sounds like it's more feeling it out? In the moment?
It's instinctual.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's instinctual. Certain situations call for different measures. certainly the experiences we've had have always, I would say that in all the years we've been out together, that we've not, with Bigfoot, we've never had a situation that I would say was aggressive or unpredictable.
Right.
Everything is very, very much linear with our experiences with them. They tend in this area to be more on the docile side, very much curious, but definitely withdrawn. And so you're really at a challenge there to try and create a situation to draw them in, and to do it in a way that is going to, as I sort of referred to earlier, not be threatening, and in many ways to be welcoming.
I think a lot of that has to do with the respect that you give them.
Absolutely.
If they don't feel threatened.
They're sentient creatures. They are creatures that deserve respect. I give them that respect. And I conduct myself with a measure of humility out here. And I think that that's sort of when you level yourself that way, I do think they do sense that to some respect in some ways. And they do offer themselves, I believe, more because of that, knowing that there's maybe a matter of trust that they can ascertain between you and them.
And that makes sense on even a basic level, because like, you know, the anecdotes we all heard our whole lives, that dogs can sense dog people, and horses can sense people who, you know, but they can also sense the opposite there. Yep. It sounds like you guys are very conscious of that.
Oh yeah, it's just respect. I mean, we don't carry weapons. A lot of people do, and that's not us. I mean, they would never, they have no reason to feel threatened with us. We're just more about, hey, look, you know, we're not here to hurt you, we'll gift you. We used to gift them apples all the time. We actually gifted, up by the Jacob sighting, we took apples, we put 6 of them out on a log. And we came back a couple days later, all the stickers were pulled off the apples. And they're set in a pile. The apples were gone, but the stickers were right there. And they had hair on them, and we got those at the house in baggies and that. But yeah, we've had a lot of things like that. And then we had another thing up in that same area. I took, it was called a Zoom way back in the day. It was a microphone. I took it down the road and I put it on a rock. And we were sitting up by the fire and we could hear thunder off in the distance. And we're like, well, maybe we should go down and get that. I went down to get it and it wasn't on the rock. It was beside it and there was a flashlight sitting on the rock. And after you heard the recording, you could hear something moved it, set that down, and yeah, it was different.
So you guys have gotten a lot of results out here.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think that's important.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of times too, you know, you can't come out looking for it.
No.
You can't come out looking for results. I mean, you come out 100 times and 40 of them you might have action and you know what to go for.
And to be honest with you, you're not going to outsmart them. You're not going to be more instinctual than them. And you know, I've heard through the years of people in a ghillie suit, even so far as to go into some sort of tactical measure to try and find them, and it's never going to work. The campfire approach is always, in my opinion, has been the most successful. It's certainly the easiest on us.
Oh yeah.
And I'll tell you, it definitely, it's a proven measure.
We've had a lot of results just that way.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
But they know we're here. Like,
Oh yeah.
absolutely.
They could be right there 10 yards in front of you. You wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
I mean, it just always goes right back to that respect thing. They're curious and you're curious. I mean, there was a time where we'd get out of our camper when we camped up here all the time and we come out and say, it's just us again.
Right.
Here we are, it's just us.
They have to assume that there's going to be some of the same
Yeah.
individuals.
And we'd always make a joke, well, the Bigfoot would be saying, wow, there they are again. Here we go, we're gonna have to start making some noises, you know. But yeah, it's been a lot of experiences in the past years. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
I have a question in respect to, you said sometimes you'll do some whoops or calls or wood knocks. Is that in response to hearing something, or do you do that to try and stir up activity?
Both, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, we Try to liven stuff up with one if it's quiet, or if you hear something, then you can try to, you don't, like everybody said, you don't know what you're saying when you do it, but it's nice to see if something responds to you.
Yeah, I had actually heard, one of the things I no longer really do are the howls. And only because I had spoken to a Native American elder that told me that that is a challenge call that 2 alpha males would do. And that's not really something I want to be involved in. So I tend to, again, that falling more on the provoking side of things, I stay away from that.
There's a difference in the howls like that though compared to what we do. Ours are like more long, or they definitely don't sound threatening.
No, not at all.
Is there ever a time, and I'm not trying to like push us towards a specific narrative, I'm not a proponent of the killer Bigfoot thing, I'm just very interested in contrasting, you know, between encounters. Is there ever a time you guys felt you were being pushed out or told, hey, this is not the time?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's times where you feel that it's like, it's time to go. Yeah, it's getting too close, things are too close happening, and yeah, we've had a couple occasions like that.
Yeah.
Not so much right here where we're at now, but in other areas we have.
Is there a specific instance you could
recall? Well, there was a time that I was on an investigation, not in Allegheny National Forest, but in Allegheny State Park in New York. And I think Todd knows, or Jeff knows exactly what I'm referring to. And, you know, I had essentially the RV I was staying in, the actual land, the person that had leased the land was invited me to stay there for a period of time. And the one night we had I was up for it, I was awake for it, and we had the RV actually shook twice and moved.
The doorknob.
And I heard something attempting to turn the doorknob. And this is all, I was entirely wakeful for this. Wow. That was an absolute, and you were on that property. And
yeah, it's a crazy property.
There was a heaviness to what was going on there. It was a deep, almost like a darkness.
As soon as you got out and walked onto that property, you felt the difference.
I've never been on in an area before in all my years where I felt eyes were on me. Really? All the time. And I literally felt that. Yeah.
And that's interesting too, because we could almost imagine that you guys have developed kind of a rapport with whatever is in this area, but this was somewhere that was outside of your normal research sites. Yep. That's interesting
right.
to me.
Yeah, it was a report that Paul had received.
Yeah, I was at a conference. I don't know if I had spoken at the conference or not. I don't remember. But one of the people in attendance came up to me and introduced me, himself to me, and he made the invitation. And you certainly hear things from people. I've received many invitations that I've followed up on that never yielded results like this. This property was absolutely dynamic from the moment I got there.
And when was this?
Oh, I would say this is about 5 years ago now.
Yeah, I was going to say right 2020.
Yeah, right around then.
Wow.
You had said that the call you do isn't like the aggressive call. Would you be able to demonstrate what that is for us?
Sure, I can do a holler if you want me to.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Let me step away over here. And
yep.
I don't know how good it'll be. It echoed, probably scared the campers down the road over them.
That echo is insane.
Yeah.
Like you could have had a megaphone, and I would have. If you told me you had a megaphone, I would have believed you. This is crazy. Just the acoustics here.
That was actually carried quite a ways. I was shocked.
I thought I heard a response. It went so far away.
You're right. You get the reverberation.
And you'll get owls. Like I just heard an owl right over there that answered it. Sometimes you'll get coyotes that answer it, but it's just something I've always done, and it's never...
It's also something to be said, one of the things I think Jeff and I, we've experienced this firsthand, is the ability for a Sasquatch to mimic other animals. You can tie into this. Remember the time we were here, it was on one of the expeditions I sponsored, and what you heard on the side of the ridge here. Remember when you went up and you called to it? It started in what would be, I would say, a classical response that you would hear from an owl. Probably a barred owl would be my thought at first. And then at the tail end of it, you heard the vocalization of what appeared to be an owl, and then it went into a primate call. It was absolutely bizarre. I mean, that was stunning, is what that was. And we heard it twice, if I'm correct, Jeff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm hearing things.
Oh no, I've heard a couple of them too.
Okay.
And another thing that we've always done is, like, if you hear something like that, you just keep on right on going with your natural behavior.
Okay.
Right. And that'll make them. We feel that'll make them more want to say, hey, they're not paying attention to us. What the hell are we doing wrong? We better move closer and see something else.
Right.
So you guys have encountered activity that indicates these things are capable of, like, vocal learning, imitation of sounds.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
New sounds
Yeah.
that are not necessarily a part of natural.
I sometimes think it's almost a mockery of us, but but they clearly do it though. Yeah.
Like, if you hear a pack of coyotes and you're in a place where you know that people are investigating all that, you can 9 times out of 10 pick out one scream in that pack of coyotes that just sounds totally different, and it just sticks right out to you.
So you have that baseline.
Yeah.
I'm probably using that word the wrong way, but you have
No,
that
but-
baseline factor that you can look at.
Right.
And go, okay, we know at least this
Right.
is not a coyote.
Yep.
Correct.
Fascinating.
Yep.
This is the only question for me. Do you think there's something to be said about coming back to the same place for your research time after time to establish a familiarity?
Yes. The Jacobs site, which I aforementioned, I've been going there for many, many years, and I do think they had a familiarity with me. And I had heard from other researchers, now I didn't do this, but I've heard from other researchers around the country that had worked the same sites for decades. And they would say to always wear the same clothes. At times, don't even wash the clothes to leave your scent on it. So again, you are really blending in at that point, and again, you're very recognizable to them. And with some possibility, that might make their comfort level a little bit higher. But when I was walking, there's a particular site, and Jeff knows what I'm talking about, at the top of the hill, where it was sort of the Jacobs photo where that was taken, was down a hill, if you will. It's a logging trail. And at the top of that hill, when I would start walking that, and what I would do is every time I came there, usually daylight hikes, I would start at the top of the hill and go to the very end of it and reach, and at some point, probably maybe a half a mile down from there, it turns around, and so you would come back up. I would have this just incredible experience where I would begin to hike down that trail, and I would hear rock clacks.
So now you got movement on your right.
And then when I would return up the trail to the top of the hill, as I was ending my hike, I would hear rock clacks again. And I just found that I can't imagine how that could naturally happen. That was something acknowledging the fact that I was going down the trail and I would be in their proximity, and that I was in fact leaving it. And so I believe it was one of them possibly signaling what would be a group of them that may have been down in that area.
Not to interrupt you, but this road here circles up and around the back, and there's a gate up there. But I think we just had sounded like something came through the trees right here off to our right.
Something
Yeah.
getting closer as you were talking.
I heard it.
It can get very eerie feeling.
You have a thermal? I'm sure.
I got one in the camper.
That does. Oh, you have one.
Actually, that's the only piece of equipment I have. I'm old-fashioned. Paul lent me his thermal 2 years ago, and I'll walk without a light. I'll do whatever. That's the only piece of equipment that I have. I do have a microphone now, but that's the only thing. Yep. If we would have kept track of, we used to write down in a book every day we'd come out who all was there. Say 8 o'clock, you did a hauler, see if you got any responses. I mean, I had books and books and books of it. And then our garage burnt and it was all gone. Lost everything. Casts, we had foot casts. I mean, we lost everything in there. There was no coming back from that.
I want us to be paying attention to what's going on around us.
Dogs have started barking again.
Again, it just dropped and stood up. I still see it